Howdy, you guys. This is Heidi Foy with Bullfrog Creatives, partnering with the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association and the official CNFR. Hey, if you guys are watching live, we got one person watching live. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you are watching the replay, we also appreciate that. For those of you guys that are watching live, please, if you have any questions throughout this broadcast, please put those in the comments, and we will do the best so we can to answer those questions. I may not know all of the answers, but we have two people joining us today that might know more than I do. So you guys, we are coming in less than 30 days to the CNFR here in Casper, Wyoming. I know that all the regions have wrapped up. The last region wrapped up the first weekend in May, which was the West Coast region. So basically the stage is set to crown some national champions in Casper in June. So today we're going to speak with both the faculty director and student director for the Rocky Mountain region, Mr. Kevin Bates and Miss Jimmy Lloyd are going to join us today. So stay tuned. You guys are not going to want to miss this. All right. You guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Jim Dewey reminded me that not everybody is in the same time zone as I am. And so he ended up having to join me at 8 o'clock in the morning. So where are you guys located right now?
I am in Grand Junction.
Okay, so same time. What about you, Jimmy?
I'm in, Montpelier, Idaho. So I'm in the same time.
Right. Perfect. So I don't feel guilty today for making anyone wake up super early. Although technically, Jimmy, you are on like summer vacation now. So
I am, but I work.
Yeah,
no, it's all right. I work full time too, so I was already up.
Good for you. So Jimmy, I'm going to start with Jimmy because she is directly to my right up on the screen. Jimmy, can you talk to me a little bit about what your role for the Rocky Mountain region and the NIRA is as a student director? I mean, what are some things that you have to that you do as that person?
So this is my first year as the director in this position. For our region, pretty much what I do, like before the season starts, the national secretaries will go over the paperwork sent in by each coach and will lay it all out for us. They'll send it to Kevin and I, and we'll look over it and write if we approve it or not. Everything's looked pretty good, and we've had some great rodeos. We had a good season. So that was pretty easy to do. As far as like during the season, I just had to sign checks to make sure that all of those who needed to be paid and reimbursed were taken care of, make sure that all of my event directors were on top of the things that they needed to be doing, and just kind of helping out wherever. And then during the winter, we went to Vegas to be a part of the midwinter meeting. So that was a cool experience to be a part of, to see kind of like what I don't know the term for it, what I'm looking for, the backstage of the whole association is like, to be able to see what goes on and see the people who care so much for this association, what they really do.
Behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be, now, what year are you in school, Jimmy?
So this is technically my junior year, but credit-wise, I just finished my senior year, and I'll be starting pharmacy school in August.
Oh my goodness. Pharmacy school is nothing to mess around with. That is super impressive.
Thank you.
And for you to be doing that and take on some other duties, kudos to you.
Thank you.
Get it, girl.
Thank you.
That's crazy. My first year at Missoula, my roommate was in pharmacy school. I think she was P2 or P3, and which, if you know the lingo, like that's the third year. She was almost like kind of midway, halfway through. And her workload just from that alone was insane. I mean, we crossed paths very rarely, in fact. So kudos to you for that. That blows my mind. Okay, so you have been around college rodeo. Have you ever qualified for the finals? Have you been to Casper before?
Yeah, my freshman year, I was.
Perfect. So you do, I mean, you're not completely, while you are a rookie in the position, you are certainly not a rookie to college rodeo. So you kind of have an understanding and what to expect when you get to Casper.
Yeah.
So how is it going to be different this year for you?
This year it's gonna be more like involved, not just like being there and being a part of it. It's definitely gonna be involved, which is kind of exciting to be able to, again, see the behind the scenes and just be a part of the bigger picture, I guess, not just a contestant.
Yeah, it is a little different to be in the production meetings and
Mhm.
all the things. It definitely is a little bit different. Thank you so much, Kevin. Let's chat with you a little bit. You have been a faculty director. How long have you been a faculty director?
This is my second year. I'll actually
Okay.
finish in June.
So I knew that we spoke last year, but I couldn't remember if that was your first year. I can't keep track of everything. Too many things. So I guess what was your biggest takeaway after your first year? And like, I'm not going to do that again, or I'm definitely doing that again. That worked well. What was your biggest takeaway?
um, for me, probably as Jimmy mentioned, the behind the scenes stuff, especially at the board meetings,
Mhm.
more so at the CNFR because you're not only doing board meetings but you're doing the rodeo at the same time,
Yeah.
and so you're constantly in either board meetings or production meetings or um, but it's all fun. That's the best part of it. The people that you associate with,
Mhm.
the student directors, Jimmy and Derek, the two kids that have filled those positions for us in my time, are just awesome. Standout pitcher. And by the way, I wanted to mention that Jimmy also ordered all our awards, year-end awards, our everything from our event winners to our horse of the years and rodeo of the years and all that stuff. And that's no easy task. The
Yeah.
buffets and that. So she deserves more credit than she gave herself. But anyways, for me, the takeaway is just the good people that you get to associate with. Everybody is working towards a common goal, and it's rare that you have as many people as we do with 11 different directors, faculty directors, 11 different student directors, and to see
Mhm.
everybody pulling for the same thing, different ways, but the way they unite and bring it together, the CFR speaks for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, of course, I know this now. I did not know it then, but each region is very independent, as it were. Like you two, the two of you, and I assume that you kind of reach out within your region, but you get to kind of set the structure and the payout and the like what awards to give and that type of stuff. So each region is run a little bit differently. I know that some regions offer somewhat of a stipend to their student directors, some don't. Um, that's been the most interesting piece for me on this side, to be able to talk to all the regional directors and all the student directors, but just to learn. It is a very unique situation. Like there's no the NIRA is not handing you down a set of rules and ways that you should run your region, which gives each student and faculty director, I guess, the power to operate how it works best for them.
Yes.
Mhm.
We have the NARA rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
It's common to all.
Right?
Every region has its own set of bylaws. So there is some structure, even though they are independent, but there is always structure.
Perfect.
And that's the way a good organization runs.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. I am very structure driven myself. So I think that's why I was surprised to see that, oh, everybody doesn't do it the same way. But as you mentioned, like having regional bylaws kind of sets structure, moving from one director to another director. The students transfer out. It's a 2 year, 2 year
2 year.
2 year term. So that position is kind of constantly rotating. I think faculty directors can stay a little bit longer, typically do stay a little bit longer, but that when that turnover happens, there's still kind of that structure in place. So it's kind of a well-oiled machine, truly.
It is.
Well, you guys, this is always the hardest part, I feel like, for the student directors and the faculty directors, because I will tell you that I'm not going to make you pick your favorites, and then I will ask you to pick your favorites. So just if you, hopefully you have the results from your region, from the Rocky Mountain region in front of you. One of you, you guys can leg wrestle later for this one. One of you guys, can you just talk to me about the men's and women's teams that qualified for the CNFR?
Yeah, if he wants to talk about the women's team.
So the women's teams, our champions were Idaho State, and our reserve champion was Colorado Mesa. So that's actually my school and Kevin's school. So
that worked out.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. So I'm on the ISU women's team. We have 5 girls, including myself, going this year. 2 girls will be taking 2 events. So obviously our coach will have to pick again, which she's kind of stressed about, but we're super excited because 4 of the 5 of us have been part of it for the last 3 years. This is our 3rd year in a row for winning the women's team. So we're super excited to have this opportunity and be able to go at them and have all of us together for it.
Perfect. Good representation. And tell me, sorry, I was pulling up the standings so I could kind of follow along. You're at Idaho State?
I am, yes.
Okay. Can you talk to me a little bit about Colorado Mesa?
Oh, yeah. So Colorado Mesa, they put on a fight this year. We were super excited to see them step up. I shouldn't say step up. Like, they did a very good job. They've got 4 girls coming this year. They all just pack in one event, Kevin, I think.
Yes.
Yes. So they'll take. So they will take. I'm trying to think. So they have 2 barrel racers, a goat, or 1 goat tire and 1 breakaway roper.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Right.
So we're super excited. The goat tying was super tough this year, and they definitely were right there in it. 2 of the girls that are going, they had to sit out the first 3 rodeos because they were transfers, but they were still right up there. They made up that ground very well, and they will be at the CNFR. One of them will be breakaway roping, but the other one will be tying goats. So we're super excited to see them and see them come. As I understand, this is Colorado Mesa's women's team's first time making it.
Yeah.
So that's
8 years that I've been here. Yes.
That's awesome. That's
Very
exciting.
cool.
We're excited for them, and we're excited to see what they can do, and they're going to represent our region very well as well.
That's super exciting. I know that it's nice I always love a good kind of underdog story, so it's really nice to hear, first time qualification is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, how about the men's teams? Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, too, like, those barrel racers are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I've gotten to know the one pretty well and been excited to see what her and her horse have been able to do. And the other one, it's going to be exciting. I'm super excited for them. And they're just all giddy about the whole experience. But I think they're going to do more than just compete. They're going to be right there.
Very cool. So, I'm going to put a pin in the men's stuff just because you mentioned barrel racing, so I don't want to forget. We often on this platform have talked about the difference between the arena setup at the CNFR versus what contestants are used to or what they have been competing in throughout the season. So maybe you guys can talk a little bit about, like, what types of arenas do you guys compete in? Are they outdoor? Are they indoor? I mean, is this going to be a big change, or are these, even the team ropers, I know typically we've talked about it impacting the team roping, maybe the goat tying, but really more so the barrel racing. So how are they in comparison?
So all 5 of our fall rodeos are outside, and then the first 3 of our spring rodeos are inside. One of them is pretty standard size, so it's like being in an outdoor, but the other two are pretty small, and they help kind of prepare us for the college finals and help people get a feel for it because they are very small. CSI is one of them, and they kind of set themselves up for the college finals because they are veterans of the CNFR and they're ready to be the most prepared. So that's a good place to get prepared for that. And then the Golden Spike in Ogden is pretty small and compact. That's where they have like the icebreaker for the high school rodeo. So that they set everything up pretty close to the college finals set up there too to help us prepare for that.
So your last two of the spring season, is that what you said?
Yes.
Kind of get you prepared. That's cool. We usually talk a lot about it because it really impacts people very differently. I mean, there are some barrel racers that don't even think about that. They trust their horse. They just go, they kind of trust the process. And some people are very analytical about the ground and the setup and how far from the, everything. I mean, Kevin, I think we all know, like, I imagine that both of you are like, oh, that's that person. Oh, that's that person. So, everybody has a little bit different game plan, and those are kind of the interesting things that we like to talk about is that behind the scenes stuff that you guys mentioned.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Kevin, okay, now let's talk about some men's teams.
Our men's teams this year are, as Jimmy mentioned, are both teams coming are veterans to the game. This year was probably as competitive or as closely competitive as we've had in a while. College of Southern Idaho, CSI, is coming in as a top team. They're a team that dominates our region in our stock events, while UVU, Utah Valley University, kind of dominated the timed event side of stuff. So it was great to see everything come as competitive as it was from two different angles. And so but we have two really strong teams in both the respects, and so I hope that we do as good as we have in the past when we get to nationals. Our events individually, events wise, was also probably some of the most competitive, even though CSI was kind of competing against themselves. We had last year's regional bareback rider dominate the season right down to the last.
Oh my goodness.
Some kid, our champion that ended up champion winning by 10 points.
10 points.
Last rodeo kind of deal. It was amazing. Our bull riders struggled all year long. I think we went all fall and got one bull road all fall, and a lot of that was to some very, very good stock. And anyways, our bronc riding was kind of in the same boat. We have one our bronc rider that won our region this year, left no doubt. They all worked really well. But as far as the teams are concerned, I am very confident that our timed event and our rough stock will represent our region very well.
So Kevin, let's talk about some numbers real quick. I was kind of scrolling through as you were talking about the contestants. Have you guys seen a decrease in memberships in the region or an increase? I mean, I don't see a lot. I assume this is just what you were kind of talking about, attributing it to the stock and kind of the caliber of stock. But I don't see a lot of contestants in these three rough stock events. Is that like true to what you're seeing, or was it just the caliber of stock that kind of threw everyone off?
Our numbers wise, as far as contestant wise, for the whole region was actually up this year. From the rough stock perspective, they were pretty much the same as we've had in the past. Sorry.
You're fine.
our talent wise, we have seen that our upper echelon is always tough, just like almost every region is that way. Every association I've ever been in is that way. The upper echelon, those top 4 or 5 kids in each event, they have the ability to beat you any given weekend, you know, and from then on out it tapers just like any other association. But overall wise, our numbers were the same or even better.
Good. I know there was a lot of conversation, of course, after the shutdown year, after 2020, about memberships kind of like, I know that next year memberships were not where they had been in the prior years. Do you feel like you guys have recovered from that as far as membership count?
Yes, I do. And we still have room to improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
But region-wise, from a numbers and from a talent-wise, I think we're going in the right direction.
Now, is that something that you guys as regional coaches discuss? Like, how are we, not just how am I, as a coach, how am I going to recruit to my college, but is that something you talk about region-wide? Like, how are we going to recruit to our region?
Yeah, I think in some ways we kind of do. We try to, like in our board meetings a lot, we try to talk about like the stock that is brought. Like some contractors will bring like really good rough stock, but their timed event will not be so hot, and then like vice versa. And lots of people know about that, like especially locals. Yeah. We use a lot of local stock contractors, so they'll be like, "Oh, you use so and so for 3 rodeos? No thanks," kind of thing. And then just the way we run things. In some ways it does attract a lot of people, but you also, you have the opposite too. So I think we do try. I don't know how well we've done with it, but I know it is something that we have definitely discussed and have tried to improve in our region.
Yeah. All right. So how about all-arounds? Who are we going to see coming in for all-around?
So our women's all-around, we're super excited about these ones. So these two are both a part of the Idaho State rodeo team. They've been veterans with me the last 3 years. So our all-around for the women's, her name is Miley Mickelson. She will be competing in goat tying and breakaway roping. And then our reserve all-around was Haven Jones, and she will be competing in barrel racing and goat tying.
Very cool.
Both have, so Haven has made it to the CNFR in the barrels all 3 years, and then the goat tying 2 of those 3 years. And Miley has been to the CNFR the last 3 years that we've gone. She's made it in the goats twice, and this is her first showing in the breakaway, but she definitely deserves to be there. So we're super excited to see them and have them on our team and them representing our region.
Well, and as we're talking about it, I just want to remind our viewers and those people that are rewatching that the all-around is a cowboy or cowgirl that competes in more than one event, but not just competes. They have to earn more than 200 points, so 200 and up points in that event for that event to count towards the all-around. So if you guys are not familiar with the rodeo world, or maybe you're a new fan, it can be very difficult to compete at this level talent-wise in one event, let alone compete talent-wise in 1, 2, 3 events. For those rough stock riders that are doing both ends of the arena, it can be super impressive because that is a very mixed bag of talent. And then for the women, it also is a mixed bag of talent. If you're running barrels versus goat tying and even adding breakaway roping in there, it's all very different skills. And I will add that even at a regular region rodeo, not the CNFR, not kind of the national championship, there's still a lot of pressure in one event, and it can be difficult to do bad in one event and then shake that off quickly to try to do well in your next event. So there's a lot of mental game in an all-around competition, but also a lot of talent from all different areas. So it's super impressive. I feel like when we talk about the all-around, I don't know that we give it enough build-up, quite frankly, because there is so much to it. It's not just getting a few points here and then killing it in this other event. Like, you really have to be successful in more than one event. So Kevin, go ahead and speak. Unless Jimmy, do you have anything else you want to add for those women all around?
No, we're just super excited to have them.
Perfect.
Miley Mickelson is also one of our event directors.
Again, a whole nother level of commitment when you're going to rodeos on the weekend.
Yeah. And she also, go ahead. She also got accepted into vet school. So she's starting that this summer too. Yeah.
This summer?
Yeah. So she'll go to.
Start?
Oh, so she'll start in August, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So.
I was like,
yeah.
She's doing summer school and the CNFR.
Yeah. But
either way, I mean, again, I would put vet school right about the same workload as probably pharmacy school.
Oh yeah. So, those two young ladies are just impressive, start to finish. The mental game, as you mentioned, is I think what makes them the absolute toughest, because they know not only what they can do, but when the pressure's on, they do it. And that the whole ISU rodeo team is that way. It's just an impressive and a well-coached team. So, as far as our men's all-arounds are concerned, we have 2 timed event cowboys. They do all 3 of the timed events. Both of them do. And Wyatt Ahlstrom is our not only our all-around, but he was our team opening healer champion this year as well. But he competes in steer wrestling and tie down rope, and he's just good. He's another one whose confidence carries him a long ways. Logan Corda, he is from Utah State University Eastern in Price, and this is his second year in a row as runner-up all around. So he's just generally tough, a very natural athlete. But he too has just been has got the experience that it takes. That when he competes, he's one to have to beat every time he nods his head and comes out. And so, I have no doubt that those two will carry themselves well in both events that they go in at Casper.
Perfect. So now is when I do what everyone does not like. Call out, I guess, we did, between the team conversation and the all-around conversation, we talk about a lot of different kids. Some kids are, name dropped in there, but who have we not talked about that you feel like we really need to keep an eye on coming into the final?
It's hard to pick one or a couple. Because like Kevin said,
shoot, you could pick 5 and we'd be okay with that.
Perfect. Well, like Kevin said, this is the toughest, I've seen. I mean, I've been here 3 years, but this is the toughest I've seen all of our events be. Literally besides a couple champions, but almost every event came down to the wire and could have been moved all the way down to 6. It definitely came down to the very last run. It was pretty intense and super exciting.
Man, those are, I would rather see it that way than a straight out runaway.
Yep.
Also, so many more hearts broken. So many more sad people. But again, hopefully that sparks the fire for next year. Y'all know what you have to do, and come back with a vengeance next year. So you did not name anyone.
I think Kevin can go first on this one.
I have to tell you that it's hard to pick just one, but I know 2. If I had to pick one, we have the girl on our team that was our regional barrel racing champion this year. She's a freshman.
Oh, wow.
So she could potentially make a big dent before she's all done. She's one who also comes with a lot of experience. She is qualified for the American, her and her mom. She rides an amazing horse. But as Jimmy mentioned, this her and our runner-up barrel racing champion, it literally came down to the last two runs, last performance, last short round, and that could have gone either way, just
Yeah.
as easy. And so one's kind of at the end of her program, and one's right at the start of hers. So my eye is particularly on the one, but I'm rooting for both of them.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There is something to be said. I feel like that contestants in that age frame, there's so many more events that you can attend. You know, I mean, I think it used to be you college rodeoed and then you came home and maybe you ran pro, or maybe you just came home and did amateur rodeos in the summer. And there's just so many more opportunities, which, as you said, as a freshman, the fact that you used as a freshman and experience together kind of speaks to what those opportunities do for you. Because as a freshman, the normal conversation would be, she's going to have the jitters. She may not have the mental game that, you know, a sophomore, even a sophomore or a junior that has been to the CNFR before would have. And that conversation is different because not only do they have that experience, but they have that mental preparedness, and they're pretty much already ready for something like this because they've been at events that you're running for far more money than what you do at the CNFR, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see that level of competition get even higher. You know, the talent is what the talent is. However, what separates the cream of the crop is that mental game and how they're able to deal with the pressure of the CNFR or the pressure of the American. So I think that's what's going to make our sport that much better.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually did think of one. I think our calf roping champion is definitely one to be watched. He was definitely one that, like, if he caught his calf, you knew he was going to win it.
It was
He
on.
definitely has, he's just very talented, a lot of just very strong fundamentals, and he
Mhm.
just kind of knows what he's doing. And he's also seasoned. He's been to pretty much everything that he can at the age limit that he is. So it's exciting to see that, and I think he will be definitely one to watch at the college finals.
Okay, so the tie down regional champion is Drake Witcherly.
Witcherly, yeah.
Okay, Drake Witcherly, and then we talked about the barrel racer. Sorry, I'm scrolling down here. Wiley Mitchell.
Mhm.
So both names to be looking out for. I will also ask, what is your favorite event to watch? Not compete in, because that could be different, but what is your favorite event to watch, Jimmy?
Mine's still the goat tying. Like, obviously, like, it's my favorite event that I compete in, and that's what I will be competing in at the college finals, but it's still like my favorite. And then probably next to the breakaway, just because these two events have grown so much, and it's been fun to kind of be in that generation where the events are taking that leap and are getting more competitive and more popular.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Kevin?
For me, I competed in saddle bronc riding my last couple of years of high school, but to this day, as a rodeo judge, it's still one of my favorite events to watch. The classic.
It's kind of a classic event, and when done well, it is very rhythmic and beautiful. So I totally get that. Yeah, that's a good pick. So you guys, thank you so much for your time. We're coming up in about 40 minutes, and we try to keep these right around 30 because I know you guys have other things to do. So is there anything else that you would like to kind of tell our fans about? Who, you know, again, I'll give you an opportunity to plug someone, but anything that you guys would like to say?
I would just say that if you haven't been to the CNFR, it's awesome. It's a great experience from a contestant level right up to spectator. The very last one, it's the closest thing to an NFR experience that I personally have been a part of. It just has the feel of something special going on, and so I would highly recommend the experience for anyone that has either been there before or hasn't been worn yet to try and make this CFR.
For sure. Ditto. Perfect. So before we let you guys go, I just want to give a shout out to Cinch Jeans and Shirts for not only being a national sponsor for the National Intercollegiate Rodeo Association and the CNFR, but also partnering with our platform here at Bullfrog Creative. We greatly appreciate the partnership and appreciate the sponsorship and the support for College Rodeo. You guys, I appreciate your time so much. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go and hopefully mention some other sponsors if I can get all the things pulled up. When will, as I try to kill some time, when will you guys be coming into Casper?
I think I'll be there the 7th of June. Yeah, the Wednesday, the 7th.
Yep.
Okay. So that's also something to know. Again, we talk about the behind the scenes. These faculty directors and student directors will come in the week before and really start to get everything organized. So you will see on this platform and the NIRA and CNFR pages some behind the scenes so that you guys can all kind of follow along on the setup and everything that has to be done before the official doors open, before the official gates open. So you guys will get some behind the scenes on that. Perfect. Kevin, I assume you're coming in that same time?
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm sure we will see you guys around. Travel safe, and thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, we are, again, the countdown to the CNFR. Want to give a shout out to our NIRA national sponsors. Again, Cinch Jeans and Shirts. Ram Rodeo is the official automotive sponsor for the NIRA. Cactus Ropes, Cactus Saddlery, and Resistol is our hat sponsor. And also we have a new national sponsor this year with Cenex. A huge thank you to Cenex for fueling local rodeo fans for more than 90 years. They've powered communities. So we want to give a shout out to them and welcome to the team for College Rodeo. Also visit Casper, the proud home of the CNFR. Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment will be bringing our arena setup again this year. And of course, Maynard Buckles with our championship award. So we want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors. We know that the partnership that we have with each of our sponsors is crucial to make our event a success, and we would not be where we are without you guys. So thank you so much. Again, you guys stay tuned. Wednesday, we will be back for our countdown, visiting with another region. Again, we're doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, and we will see you guys on Wednesday.
Perfection almost looks easy. But it isn't. Here's to those who go the distance.